Hello, Jen Gilchrist. Excited to be here to share a little tidbit that was coming through for me around the importance of integrating your awarenesses and your energetic shifts fully into your physical body at this time. Now, this is timeless, of course. This information I speak on this topic of this balance between your spirit and your body, and really the self-care and that kind of the balancing of routines. However, right now it's definitely coming very prevalent. Like, it's just maybe a reminder. There might be some new ideas. I'm going to share some ways that you can do this, as well as I think we're going to do a short little guided healing with Archangel Raphael, or at least get some messages as well around this. I don't know about you, but man, holy upgrade, holy awarenesses, lots of new awarenesses, energy upgrades been happening. And for me, really this summer, those eclipses really ushered in so much a catalyst for change, right into that Venus retrograde that happened all throughout November. And then now we're into a retrograde. And I look at that and I think, what a beautiful how the astrology is really just supporting and ushering in this opportunity for really quantum shifting, for really up-leveling our awarenesses, our psychic gifts, our intuition, our money space. Like, everything was just, it's like this rapid fire catalyst of opportunity. And so integrating your awarenesses and integrating the healings and integrating those energetic shifts into all the way into your physical body awareness is really important, so that we can continue to, first of all, receive the benefit of it, right? It starts with knowledge and awareness, but then we need to bring it all the way into all the different layers of our physical and mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic bodies, right? Physical bodies, so that we can manifest and experience the results of it in a new way, right? We get to see the tangible outcomes in our life, in our relationships, in our bank account, in the work that we're sharing with the world. Everything just gets to up level. And we're going to go into another eclipse season in January. So you want, I feel like this was a huge chunk of things that shifted for people. And we want to take this time, really see this retrograde season right now. And again, even if you're seeing this later, this is something that I think is an important part of the spiritual awakening process. And we all have our own timelines, so it's perfect. But right now we are in a Mercury retrograde for another week or so, and I think really heeding that call and utilizing this energy to fill yourself up, to embody this, so that when we come into January for these next level of eclipses that are coming in, we don't want to be running tattered either. We want to go into it feeling fueled and filled up and ready to take into the next layer of energetic upgrades that's available. Hey, Tiki, good to see you. I just kind of hopped on unannounced here. So thanks for joining, but it's just all about the importance of integrating your awarenesses into, and all of those things, all the way into your physical body. So, journaling, processing, that information is important. Meditation, essential oils, right? And I feel like sleeping, I don't know, you can tell me if you guys have been feeling this as well. I think it's gotten a little better for me in the last few days, but for a while there, I'll have nights of just where my energy is buzzing so high that I'm not getting very much sleep, like even 3 or 4 hours sometimes, when my ears are ringing, or I just get this extra buzz of energy. And then I'm starting to get exhausted, right? Because I actually like 8 hours of sleep. I'm one of those people who likes that full sleep. And so the idea of, if you feel like maybe you're not getting enough sleep, giving yourself the rest, if you can lighten your workload if you need to, do what you need to do to fill up your cup, really allow your body to receive, because that's a lot of times when the integration is happening, when we are in resting. And I feel like I'm going to say this right now, but I'll come back to it, because right now, collectively, it feels like, at least the people that are following me, but I do feel collectively, actually, we're healing the divine feminine aspects within ourselves and within the collective. And then that's holding space for those of you who feel aligned with this twin flame journey. That's helping your counterpart awaken as well and heal his feminine, so that they're having spiritual wake-up calls right now, right? But this is true, I feel, it ripples out to the entire planet, right? That twin flame energy is coming in for me to speak on more and more, and it'll probably be an iteration of my business in some form or fashion. Not sure how much right now, I'm just sharing my experiences, but it's really palatable. So recognizing that when we're sleeping, even setting your intention makes it that much more powerful, because again, the more conscious awareness we have in this, and the more we set our intentions and call on our angels or our spiritual support team to help us integrate, just straight up, hey, help me integrate, help me heal, help me have more understanding, but also help me bring and anchor this new energy frequency into my body, help my body be prepared to be a vessel to handle this level of light. Right. And that's really, I think, what's happening. We're shifting. Our DNA strands are waking up on a DNA level. We're becoming more crystalline in nature. And so it's like our body can only hold what's like, it's really important to take care of our vessel. Huge, 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 huge. As these energy upgrades are coming in, we can only take what our body is prepared to handle. And so it really does make a big deal difference, you know, getting the rest. And I hear a lot about moving the body. Exercise is just really, even if you're feeling sluggish, it's like it helps to move the energy. It helps to bring the energy in even more fully. But anything feminine, right? We're also, as we're doing this, we're healing our own feminine ability to receive within us. I recently, you guys may have seen or may not have, but I've had a soul alignment purpose activation and reading available over the weekend. It's still available for $22. It was 60 minutes. It was very channeled information of a 60-minute reading and then 60-minute healing activation. And it really was healing that divine feminine energy, right? Healing that ability to receive money, to receive information, channeling, clearing that clear channel, upgrading the chakra systems, allowing our body to be prepared to receive that next level of information and body of work that may want to come through you, right? But if we don't allow our body to catch up, it's like we can't take any more of that energy in. Also cleanses, right? Like cleanses, green juice, perhaps a water fast, like just whatever you're called to. It's different for all of us. But I think the more that we actually do that, the more benefit we're getting out of this amazing, powerful ascension energy that's coming through. This energy and the downloads are just coming rapidly. And the more that we can keep our body in balance, the more that we can continue to receive and benefit off of that in present time. Right. And then we'll be more prepared to handle the next level of eclipses that's coming. I felt like it's taken this whole time. I've just been in this continual processing mode since the summer eclipse. So I definitely want to be fully ready to receive this next wave of opportunity that's coming in January. And so that's why I felt kind of, called to talk about that for you guys. Do you guys, how have you guys been feeling about this, whether live or replay? What have you been noticing? I just been noticing, and sometimes, we can push off, like just push through. I think most of us are pretty driven, naturally, women, entrepreneurs, just in general, or men, if they're coming in to watch this as well. And we can just override. And so just give yourself an extra time. Lighten your load if you can on your schedule, really just nurture and tend to your inner needs and really process the emotions that are coming up as they're coming up, because it yields big awarenesses on the other side of that as well. So that's been really fun. I couldn't find my Archangel Raphael cards, but so I'm going to use my book as an oracle. I'm just going to flip to a page and use it that way. You can do that too. Sometimes I like to do that in my spiritual books. Like I'll just grab a book and place my hand on the book and say, okay, well, what message do I need? And just open to a page and I get the perfect message. So that's just something fun I like to do. Oh, that's funny. So I opened the book while we were talking about that, and it says exercise is key. In addition, so basically, Archangel Raphael, thank you for motivating me and guiding me to exercise program that fits my schedule, interest, or budget. But mostly what I'm feeling is it's just a validation for what I just said, right? We need to pull the energy from our mental, from our awareness stage into the emotional, the spiritual energy bodies into our actual physical bodies anchored in. And now, boom, we get to receive the benefit of all that in the outward manifestation of our experience. Now we're ready for more. Kelly says, feeling like I'm floundering and yet everything is okay. Yeah, totally. I think it's been like that for me too. I mean, there's been lots of shifts for people. That's another thing that came through in that soul activation reading was, career change for people. Some of it's full on, some of it's just niche switches, some of it's just a shift in how you're doing it, bringing in information or how you're sharing it. And so anytime we go through a massive upgrade in this, the way that we share, it could be in personal life, but I'm feeling a lot for business, and how we show up and share is in a completely different way. The amount of energy I was holding and the way I was channeling energy in that reading was a massive upgrade to anything I felt before. It physically moved my body, especially on the money karma pieces, like money thing was just like, poof, my energy just was like, wow, so much energy is coming through. We're changing. As we're changing, how we're sharing changes. And so anytime we end up in that time, it can feel lack of clarity, but it's beautiful that you're tapping into that inner knowing of that truth that everything is all okay. And it's almost like, I feel like part of the growth in that for myself and what you're saying included is being okay with not having to know. It's part of the healing of the third chakra, of releasing the control of needing to know how everything is going to work out, which is great because we can get into like thinking, having a goal, and then starting along that path, and then just getting out of alignment a little bit by trying to push it or make it happen in a certain way. So a beautiful healing within that statement that I just received kind of from you is just, really being okay with not knowing, right? Being okay, being uncomfortable, being okay with just being at peace inside, knowing that this in-between land is okay, because every time we have a spiritual growth, things get a little murky for a minute because our now new perspective has changed, and we had to be willing to let go of what we thought we knew or what we thought was working for us in the past before we have full access to what it's shifting into. So it's kind of like that limbo land, right? And I think that, in this group, most of us have been used to spiritual awakenings, but perhaps it's some people's first one. I might put this on YouTube, I'm not sure. So wherever you're seeing this, whenever we have these spiritual awakenings, they don't just have, the first one's always the most intense because we're kind of unconscious to it. We tend to resist it. And then we kind of wake up to this idea that we have, we have the ability to navigate it with less resistance, which is awesome and beautiful, but we still have these awakenings. And I think that's what we just yielded in this previous, we're always doing this, but this is a massive shift. Like I feel massive shifts available for people, timeline changes of just shrinking and just, that's always malleable in terms of the future timelines of things are always changing dependent on what we choose and how we choose to become in that moment, right? We can change things. And I feel like that's happening for a lot of people very quickly. And it's very much dependent on your integrating this information as it comes very quickly into your physical body so that you can receive more, right? And so you can be that beacon of light at a higher range, right? For yourself and for those around you and for the world at large, right? It's part of the underlying mission work here, I believe, as light workers, as all of you are, consciously wanting to make this world a better place through your own uniqueness, which is beautiful. So yeah, that was coming through. Let's see if there's another one here from Raphael, and then I'll stop Mother Mary because she came through my healing space strong too. So this is saying, leave a stressful situation behind. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for giving me the courage and willingness to take good care of myself, including surrounding myself with healthy relationships and positive situations. So this is really saying, well, you know what it's saying, right? Let go of what's not serving, whether it's mindset, people, environments, relationships, situations that are being driven through fear or holding on to out of fear, or habit, right? Or just sometimes we don't know, but just do that deeper work. Ask for your spiritual support team to help you have the awareness, the strength and courage to let things go that are not working. And do that, because otherwise it's like you're just stalling your ability to have that peace and happiness now that you're asking for, right? We're just stalling it. We can do whatever we want, of course. We have free will of choice, which is the beautiful thing about being a human being, but we can hiccup ourselves, and it's going to happen. And I kind of feel like what I'm feeling is like, as these eclipses happens, if you already know there's something you're supposed to let go of, that you're being guided to let go of, that's not serving you, the eclipse is going to come up pretty strong for you, and it might not be very fun. And so the more that you can kind of do the energy, do the work on what you know is coming up for you now, the more you'll be able to like breeze through and not be in such chaos or turmoil on the other side of this, because it's like going to happen. Your soul's already showing this to you because you want it to happen. So eventually, as a physical human being, you're going to surrender and let it happen. And so I guess what I'm hearing is just let it happen and do the work now, so that you can really yield more benefit out of the eclipses, as opposed to have it be a really painful, tumultuous journey. Like you'll probably watch around and see a lot of people unconscious around you having a lot of chaos and turmoil, right? And if that happens, right? It is what it is. We just got to be with where we're at. But I guess part of this was just wanting to prepare you guys to do that now, if you've been holding on to something, because then you can catch the wave of the high on the other side a lot easier come the new year, and start your new year off to, just more quickly with a brighter start. I'm going to pull some Mother Mary cards as well. Oh, sometimes I don't want to be clear, so I gotta set my intention there. All right. Okay, so giving and receiving. It says a balance of being generous and receptive, because both are equally important. Yeah, this kind of came up in the weekly reading as well, right? It's that yin yang. We're getting more and more, and this actually came up in that soul purpose activation too. So if anybody's interested in that, there's posts in the group about that. It was 30-minute reading, 30-minute healing on integrating our physical and masculine, a lot around healing the feminine. And that's what this is saying is like, I know a lot of you guys are already keen to this idea, right? You're already, the people I made that video for, we're very evolved in that sense. And we're taking it to the next level of the daily dance, the hour-to-hour dance of our masculine and feminine, right? Sometimes, this is where being fully self-employed is awesome because you're in control of your schedule, right? So you can balance your own giving and receiving, in popping in and out, and knowing when to use your masculine and feminine energy and just readily snapping into that. And it could be, you could go back and forth within a minute or within an hour or within a day, but it is a daily dance. And so that's sort of something we worked on in that healing work that came up, which was taking it to the next level of really, really, really tuning into noticing, when do you need to bring forward more of the masculine? When do you need to set back into more of that feminine? And a lot of us right now, I feel, are really healing the ability to be more relaxed into our feminine so that we can receive and then in turn give. And so it says, again, I balance being generous and receptive because both are equally important. And so another thing is, in the weekly reading, I think it came up with anything we're white knuckling, whether it's money or whatever. Sometimes, being able to give or tithe or be generous in some way with our time or energy or our money. If we're holding on to something, we need to almost be generous and give up some, because then we're saying, oh, okay, now I'm sinking into the trusting that the receptivity will come back to me. And so it's really balancing out that giving and receiving, but mostly what's been coming through is the masculine and masculine and feminine energy within each of us, and balancing, merging that, like really merging that, so that it's not even like, it's not a separate thing. It's just sort of like a dance that we know how to just do life with, right? And so that just requires a deeper level of awareness throughout your day. And that will really, really help just to be in synchronicity, to be in flow, because what I'm noticing, it's almost as if I have, and this is kind of, I don't know, it mirrors the same idea, but I feel like for me, my psychic, I've always, I've been working with my psychic tools for 10 years, so they're pretty well developed and I'm pretty using them all the time. But the shift I've experienced since the summertime to now is just like, massive upgrades. Like I'm definitely right here all the time. I feel like my 5D self and 3D self are just kind of like cruising together. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, this is pretty cool. Even when if I'm massively triggered, I always like feel like I'm in kind of both worlds at the same time. When I'm looking up at the clouds, sometimes I'm seeing sacred geometry just walking, like the energy, that the veil is thinning, right? And it's merging a lot, and our awareness there of it is as well. And so for some reason, that almost kind of metaphorically, I'm just talking right now because it's coming through. I haven't thought of this before exactly, but it's almost kind of like the physical beingness feels like the masculine, and then the the 5D space that we're ascending to right now very rapidly is 5D. So it's like the feminine's a 5D and the masculine is our 3D cells. And so it's that merging of that spirit and that body as one. And we do that through our daily ritual and action in terms of how we're expressing ourselves. We get to pull that energy in and anchor it in more and more and more. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. I think it does, but that's just another way to look at that. And that's kind of what's happening, right? That's what we want to happen. That's how we expand, evolve, and grow, right? And that's where we get to really experience that heaven on earth and really be, all of the exciting things are there for us. The more that we're in that space, we're just kind of in flow. We're letting our higher selves and our soul guide us. And in that way, we're being a way shore, and we're being beacons to help others awaken to that truth for themselves much more quickly than perhaps the intense spiritual path that many of us have been on, right? We're making it easier for the future generations to awaken, right? Which will be better for the whole world, right? It's our mission here. So at the Undercourt, I think our main mission is to embody our spirit, our divinity, and express it through our life, work, and relationships. But that is really what I'm talking about here, right? And how that actually then, because those of us that chose to come in as more of a global mission as well, is we're doing that so that we can anchor our light in different places of the world, and it can just pop everybody, up in a new way. We're affecting people that we're not even speaking to by being that carrier of light, right? And this came up a lot in that reading too. So I guess, yeah, this is very cool, fun times right now. And I just wanted to express it starts with us. It starts with us. It always does. And integrating this into your body is super, super, super key. So I hope this was helpful. Maybe just a good reminder for you, or maybe some new perspectives and insights as well. You can share your comments or what's going on for you. I know my ears have been constantly on ring zone, which is fun too, because it's just taking in new information, to new energy, new awarenesses. So that's always fun. And I noticed that as I've been writing and journaling more, it's just in real time, it's integrating. In real time, my higher self is just like I'm writing an experience I may not understand, and by the time I even finish it, it's out on the paper, the answer. The awareness is there. It's now integrated. It's like, it's been very, very, very powerful. So you might want to practice that too. And because the shifts have been happening so quickly for me, like over the last 2 months, especially since I started like really writing again, I mean, very consistently, mostly because it was almost overwhelming how much information was coming in, and I wanted to document and integrate for myself and then be able to share it. I was forgetting, like I would look back and there was a couple of things that even just from a couple of days before or like a week before that I'm like, I had totally forgotten. And it was like this huge aha shift. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm writing this down, because it's happening that fast, right? Which is great. But if I want to help share these things with people, then I have to kind of be clear on the process. And so for some of you who are here to teach programs and through your experiences with people, it's a powerful time to do that, because you're going to also start channeling in the moment. That was another thing that we worked on in the activation of this whole purpose alignment activation, was the channeling ability, right? That ability that we all have to really, 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 even if it's just through our words or our writing, to be able to translate that for people in a way that they can hear and understand that esoteric information, right? And they can put it into applicable action. But we have to be very, very conscious ourselves of what we're doing in this process in order to be teachers again with it, right? Our energy is going to do it, right? So some people might just be like, you know what, embodying that energy, yes, that's a creating effective change for people. As we embody more light, we heal the world. And some of us are here to share that, to help people get it even more consciously. And so, yeah, that's just wanting to come through also. So thanks for joining me, guys. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to go on my Facebook personal page in a little bit and do some individual readings. I'm not sure, so keep your eyes peeled for there. If you guys aren't already following, I think you guys are following me already on my thing, but you'll get notified if I go live on my page. I might do individual readings, but I have a few more things to do first. So, all right, have a good rest of your day. Thanks for hopping on. Bye.